Have you ever loved someone who felt like a question you could never answer? You are not crazy. You are not imagining it. There is a person in your life right now. Maybe they pulled away after the most beautiful day together. Maybe they went silent when you needed them most. Maybe they came back and then they disappeared again. And every single time they left, something inside you broke a little more. You started asking yourself, do they even love me? Is there something wrong with me? Am I too much? Let me tell you something that might change everything. That person might love you more deeply than anyone has ever loved you. But they love in a language you were never taught. And right now you are standing on the outside of that language, screaming into the silence, wondering if anyone is listening. Here is what you need to understand. There are people in this world who learned very early that love is not safe. That getting close to someone means losing yourself. That opening your heart is just another way to get it broken. So they built walls, not because they want to keep you out, but because their heart learned to protect itself the only way it knew how. This is what avoidant attachment looks like. It looks like distance when you need closeness. It looks like silence when you need words. It looks like running away when every part of you is begging them to stay. And if you have never understood this, it will destroy you slowly, quietly. You will start to shrink yourself. You will start to question your worth. You will convince yourself that if you just love them harder, if you just try more, if you just become a little less demanding, they will finally stay. But here is the truth that nobody told you. You are not the problem. They are not the problem. The problem is that you are both speaking two different love languages, and neither of you learned the translation. Today that changes. In this video, I am going to show you 8 signs that an avoidant person loves you. Not the signs they show on the surface, the signs that live underneath. The ones they hide from the world, the ones that require you to watch with your heart, not your eyes. Because an avoidant person will never tell you they love you the way you need to hear it, but they will show you in ways that will blow your mind once you learn how to read them. And I need you to stay until the very end of this video, because the last sign I share with you is the one that will change how you see everything. It is the sign most people miss completely. And once you see it, you will never look at your relationship the same way again. But first, you need to understand who they really are. And once you do, you will finally stop blaming yourself. You will finally stop shrinking. You will finally understand that the distance you felt was never about your worth. It was about their fear, and that changes everything. So, keep watching. This is going to shift something deep inside you. I promise you that. Here is something most people never learn. Love does not always look the way you expect it to look. Sometimes love does not look like constant text messages and sweet words every morning. Sometimes love looks like someone standing across the room watching you from a distance and choosing not to walk away. Sometimes love is quiet. Sometimes love is hesitant. Sometimes love is buried so deep under layers of protection that the person feeling it does not even know it is there. This is the hidden truth about avoidant people. They love differently. Not less, not weaker, differently. When an avoidant person falls in love, their heart does not open like a door. It opens like a window, just a crack at first. And everything inside them tells them to close it again. So they fight themselves every single day. Part of them wants to come closer. Part of them wants to run. And the war happening inside their head is invisible to everyone except the person standing right in front of them. And that person is you. You have been feeling like something was wrong, like you were reaching for something that was never really there. But what if I told you that everything you have been reaching for was there all along? You just could not see it because you were looking for it in the wrong shape. Here is what you have to understand about avoidant people. Their love does not announce itself. It does not perform. It does not need an audience. While other people show love with grand gestures and constant words and visible affection, an avoidant person shows love in the margins, in the spaces between conversations, in the things they do when no one is watching, in the way they show up when you stopped expecting them to show up, in the way they remember the one thing you mentioned 3 months ago and still think about it today. That is their love language. And once you understand it, everything changes. See, most people who love avoidant partners make one critical mistake. They keep asking for the wrong kind of love. They ask for words when the avoidant person communicates through actions. They ask for constant reassurance when the avoidant person shows love through consistency over time. They ask for grand romantic moments when the avoidant person is quietly planning a future with you in their mind. And when the avoidant person cannot give them that specific version of love, they assume it means something is wrong. They assume the avoidant person does not care enough. They start to feel unwanted, unseen, unloved. But here is what is actually happening. The avoidant person is trying in the only way they know how. Every single day, they are fighting their own instincts to stay. They are choosing to text you back even when their body wants to disappear. They are forcing themselves to be present when every part of them wants to retreat. They are holding on with everything they have even when it looks like they are letting go. This is not excuse. This is not permission to accept less than you deserve. This is understanding. And understanding is the foundation of every single relationship that has ever survived the impossible. Because here is the truth nobody talks about. An avoidant person who is choosing to stay in your life is doing something extraordinary. They are walking toward the thing their whole life taught them to fear. They are opening themselves to the very pain their brain was designed to protect them from. And they are doing it anyway. Not because it is easy, but because something inside them, something stronger than fear, is telling them that you are worth it. That is not nothing. That is everything. In the next few minutes, I am going to walk you through 8 real signs that an avoidant person loves you. Not the obvious ones, not the ones anyone could see, the deep ones, the ones that require you to shift how you look at them entirely. And if even one of these signs shows up in your life right now, I need you to pay attention because it means more than you know. Keep watching. This information might be the thing that saves everything. Before we go into the signs, there is something you need to understand. You cannot read a book if you do not know the language. And right now, you are trying to understand someone whose emotional language was written in a different childhood than yours. So let me be the translator today. Avoidant attachment is a term used in psychology. But I want you to forget the clinical words for a moment. Let me give you a picture instead. Imagine a child, very young, maybe 3 years old. This child learns very quickly that when he cries, nobody comes. When he reaches for comfort, the room is empty. When he needs someone, he is always alone. Not because his parents did not love him, but because life did not allow them to be present. Maybe they were busy. Maybe they were struggling. Maybe they did not know how to show up. And this child, this tiny, defenseless human, makes a conclusion that will shape his entire life. He decides that needing people is dangerous, that depending on someone is the fastest way to get hurt, that if he never lets anyone get too close, he will never have to feel that emptiness again. So he learns to comfort himself. He learns to be strong alone. He learns that the safest place in the world is inside his own head, where no one else can reach him. This is not a conscious decision. No child wakes up and says, "I will build walls around my heart." But the brain is brilliant at learning patterns. And when the pattern is consistent enough, the brain turns it into a rule. A rule that says closeness equals pain. A rule that says love comes with a cost. A rule that says the only way to survive is to never need anyone too much. Now, fast forward 20 years. That child is grown. He is sitting across from someone who makes him feel things he has not felt in years. And everything inside him starts screaming. The same warning signal that kept him safe as a child starts firing, and he does what he has always done. He pulls away not because he does not care, but because every cell in his body is trying to protect him from a pain he has felt before. The pain of needing someone and not getting them. The pain of opening up and being left alone. His body does not know the difference between the past and the present. His body only knows one thing: run before it hurts again. This is what makes avoidant people different. They are not cold. They are not incapable of love. They are people whose love language was written in a school of silence. They are people who learned that the heart is a liability. They are people who want to love you so badly, but every instinct they have built over 20 years is telling them it is not safe to do so. So they freeze. They retreat. They disappear. And when they do, the person standing on the other side of that silence feels like they are losing something that was never really there. But it was there. It is still there, hidden under the armor they built to survive. Understanding this is not about excusing bad behavior. It is not about accepting mistreatment. It is about decoding the message that is being sent to you every time they pull away. Because what they are really saying is not, "I do not want you." What they are saying is, "I am terrified of what happens if I let you in completely." See the difference? One says, "Go away." The other says, "Help me. I am lost inside myself." And once you see that second message, you cannot unsee it. Once you understand that their distance is not rejection but defense, everything shifts. You stop taking it personally. You stop blaming yourself. You stop trying to break through their walls with force. Instead, you learn to speak their language. You learn to be safe when they are scared. You learn to stay when they run. And slowly over time, something remarkable starts to happen. They start to believe that maybe this time love will not destroy them. That is when everything changes. Keep watching. The signs I am about to share with you will make so much more sense now that you understand this foundation. Because these signs are not random. They are the moments when the armor cracks and love finally gets through. Now you understand who they are. The next question is even more important. Why do they push you away exactly when you need them most? This is the part that breaks people. You are in the middle of a hard day. You had a difficult conversation. Something inside you is hurting, and your natural instinct is to reach for the person you love. You send them a message. You call them. You look for comfort in the only place that feels safe. And they disappear. They go silent. They deflect. They change the subject. They say something that makes you feel like you are bothering them with your emotional needs. And the silence that follows does something deeper inside you than the original problem ever could. You start to think they do not care. You start to think you are too much. You start to think that the person you chose to love is not capable of showing up for you in the way you deserve. But what if I told you that what just happened had nothing to do with you? What if I told you that in that exact moment when you reached for them, something inside them went into emergency mode? Here is what is actually happening in their head. When an avoidant person feels a strong emotion, their brain does not process it the same way yours does. Your brain sees an emotion and thinks, I need to connect with someone. Their brain sees an emotion and thinks, danger, danger, danger. Not because the emotion itself is dangerous, but because emotions have always been dangerous for them. Emotions meant vulnerability. Vulnerability meant pain. Pain meant survival was at risk. So when they feel something intense for you, their nervous system sends them a message that sounds something like this. Too much, too deep, too close. Pull back before you lose yourself completely. And they do. Not because they do not love you, but because their brain just told them that loving you might destroy the walls they spent their whole life building. Think about that for a second. The distance they created after that difficult conversation was not a sign of indifference. It was a sign that you matter so much that their body went into full panic mode. You are not triggering their coldness. You are triggering their fear, and fear does not think clearly. Fear just runs. This is why they push you away, exactly when you need them most, because in that moment you represent the thing they want most and fear most at the same time. Your closeness is both the answer to their loneliness and the trigger for their deepest wound. So they choose safety every single time, not because they do not love you, but because their survival instinct is louder than their heart in that moment. Now listen carefully. This is important. You cannot change this pattern by pushing harder. You cannot force them out of their fear by demanding they show up the way you need. Every time you chase them when they retreat, every time you beg for connection when they go silent, you accidentally confirm the very fear they are running from. Because to them, your urgency feels like pressure, and pressure feels like the thing that hurt them before. So what do? You do the thing that feels completely wrong, but is actually the only thing that works. You hold your ground. You stay calm. You do not chase. You do not collapse. You give them the space they asked for while still being present when they come back. You become the proof that love does not have to come with chains. You become the example that closeness does not always lead to pain. This does not mean accepting mistreatment. It does not mean ignoring your own needs forever. It means understanding that your calm presence is doing something to their nervous system that your panic never could. Every single time you stay steady when they run, you are rewriting their belief system one tiny piece at a time. You are showing them that people can get close and still let them breathe. That love can be intense and still be safe. That is how change happens. Not through force, through safety. Keep watching. The first real sign that they love you is coming up next. And once you see it, you will understand that everything I just told you is already showing up in your life right now. You just did not know how to read it. Go.